This episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Artery Inc., a local women-owned company that designs anatomy-inspired apparel and other merchandise. If you want to check out their stuff, and we do highly recommend that you do, go over to www.arteryinc.com, that's ink spelled I-N-K, and see what they've got available. This is a company that started very locally and humbly here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and now ships nationwide. Whether or not you are in healthcare or just a fan of anatomy and artistic design inspired by anatomy, they probably have something for you, so go give them a look. And at checkout, use promo code LISTEN2PHP to save 10% on any order over $35, as long as it's not for a subscription box. Let's get to the show. This podcast is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to provide medical advice. It exists only to entertain.
Throughout history, this is facts and there might be me. You gotta listen, you don't have to read. For historians, for historians, for historians.
Hey there, everyone. This is Max from the Poor Historians podcast, breaking in before the show goes to sort of explain why this week's show is a little bit different. So, we had recorded a more typical episode and been very happy with the result. However, not a single stitch of it saved, like not even nothing. We had no record of it, and this was disparaging to say the least, but because we all have different schedules, it's not quite easy for us to re-record things if schedules don't line up. So we didn't want to leave everybody in the lurch. We wanted to at least have something this week while we go back, re-record that episode, and continue to record episodes, hopefully, that do save in the future. So we're going to release this week a little bit of, history for our show. So this episode actually was one of the pilots that we recorded when we were first developing the show and trying to figure out how we wanted to go about presenting medical history. And this was definitely a lot of fun to make. It was a lot of work, however, and what you're going to hear here is a story about a famous surgeon, Dr. William Beaumont, but presented in sort of a radio drama type of fashion. And for folks who have listened to the show before, we do typically have one or two skits kind of along the way. It's fun to write, it's fun to perform. And in this week's episode, you're going to hear a very new Aaron, Max, and Mike, at least very new to podcasting, with microphones, who knows what direction they were pointed, doing our best to voice act through this story. Now, this episode will be shorter than our usual episodes, so that's one thing just to be aware of. And if you're a new listener and this is the first episode you are coming across, just be aware this is not quite how the format of the show goes. You may want to check out any of the other episodes to get a better idea there. But we didn't want to leave you with nothing this week. So we will present to you a pilot previously unreleased for the Poor Historians podcast. Hope you enjoy. And we'll be back in a few weeks with a more typical episode, we promise.
Hey guys, thanks for coming by. I'm excited to unveil my invention after all this time.
No problem. It's been a while since I've been to your house. It's odd that you never mentioned this invention. I mean, we spend enough time together at work. I thought you might have brought it up before.
I know you've built some furniture before. I didn't realize you invented things.
No, just come downstairs so I can show you what I come up with.
When did you construct a 60s-style movie laboratory in your basement?
Bubbling in those flasks.
Chemicals.
Fair enough.
What do the chemicals do?
They bubble.
But why?
Because of the heat from the Bunsen burners.
So many chemicals.
Anyway, I've got to show you guys this.
You're referring to the giant sheet-covered thing in the corner. What are we looking at here, Mike?
So you attached a headband of electrodes to a toilet with a cage surrounded by Tesla coils? Why would you do that?
It's more than that. It's a time machine.
A time machine affixed to a toilet? I feel like that's a 90s graphic adventure video game reference.
No, it's different because it's a freestanding toilet, not a porta potty.
I don't get the reference.
In fairness, it's pretty obscure.
You guys, we can finally escape.
Escape? Escape what?
2020. We can all agree that this year sucks. Let's take a vacation through time.
This year does suck, but this seems a bit silly. What makes you qualified to build a time machine?
Well, I'm a doctor.
Of emergency medicine, not theoretical or even applied physics.
We're all emergency physicians here. That doesn't necessarily make us capable of building time machines.
Yeah, but it doesn't disqualify us either. The rules don't say anything about doctors not building time machines.
Solid argument.
None of this makes any sense.
Look, you two can stay here if you want, but I'm getting out of this year's hellscape. I thought you guys might want to come along, but if not, at least you could be here for the second maiden journey through time.
Wait, second journey? What happened with the first one?
Yeah, it went bad.
How so?
That's not important. I mean, what's important is science and progress. We can not only prove that this is possible, but I thought you might want to be a part of this.
That depends on what happened on the first run of this thing.
Yeah, let's not focus on the past. I've learned from my mistakes. I've taken the appropriate precautions. It'll work as intended this time.
Have you been drinking?
Yeah.
You know, there are no laws about not operating a time machine while drinking.
Mike, I know we're all looking for the escape from this year, but I doubt this is the answer or that it even works. Wouldn't it take an exorbitant amount of energy to bend time and space to your will? I mean, isn't it more likely that whatever or whoever sits in that chair would just be vaporized?
No dibs on being first to ride the electroshock murderer toilet.
You guys, obviously I'll go first. I just need somewhere to throw the lever over there after I set the dials to an appropriate year.
You start the hyper-advanced time machine with a lever, and why a toilet to sit on?
Well, it's hard to say how long the actual travel part will take. Might need to use the bathroom.
There's
Wait.
no plumbing.
Do you go forward or back in time?
I feel like it's safer to go back.
Mike, there's nothing safe about this, and as a colleague and fellow emergency physician, I don't want to be responsible for throwing the lever that will obviously cause you to catch fire and not travel through time. It seems
I'll do it.
Thanks, buddy.
Aaron, we're going to be responsible for cleaning up this mess and explaining what happened to the police. Plus, who's going to cover his shifts? It'll be a whole thing. Aaron, don't
Why
throw that
not?
lever.
He's gonna do it anyway.
Oh, the humming tickles.
Don't.
Woohoo! It does tickle.
It feels weird on my insides.
What happened?
What the hell? We're alive?
Where are we, and when did you guys change clothing? You look like extras on a Revolutionary War reenactment set.
Wait, so do you.
We're all wearing old-timey clothing? How did this happen?
Looking around, I'd say we're in old-timey surroundings. Look at all the horses and carts.
In all the water. Are we on an island?
I think so.
What is happening? Are those people trading furs? Do they do that anymore?
I don't think so.
So all the people here are wearing old-timey clothes. Look up on that hill. That fort looks familiar.
Wait. Did we actually go through time?
Yes, it worked.
Then when are we?
What was that? It sounded like it was just over there.
It looks like someone's hurt on the ground.
Let's go help.
Help do what?
Let's go be emergency doctors. Come on, it's our job.
Be what? What are you talking about?
Mike, you're a doctor. I'm a doctor. Max is a doctor. Let's go do doctor things.
I'm not a doctor. Are you kidding me?
Mike, did you forget that you're a doctor?
Ooh, not good.
I don't remember anything.
At all.
No, about being a doctor.
How is that possible?
The time machine must have scrambled his brain.
And where is the time machine, by the way?
I don't know. I don't remember much before it happened.
That guy is still bleeding over there on the ground. A crowd is gathering.
Go!
Wait, you can't go over there. We shouldn't interact with these people. Haven't you seen Back to the Future? Something time paradox.
Wait, you remember movie references from the 80s, but not the fact that you're a physician.
Yes.
Seems a bit contrived.
Nevertheless, we should remain off the radar. Who knows what kind of problems this could cause. Let's just go have a look, but don't talk to anybody.
Hey, there's a guy going to his side already. The guy looks like he might be a
He
doctor.
does have a doctor's bag.
How do you know it's a doctor's bag?
I'm a doctor. I can just tell.
Well, the doctor-looking guy is attending to the shot fur trader-looking guy.
This whole thing seems really familiar for some reason.
He and some others are loading that guy into a stretcher. Doesn't look like there's a hospital around here. Looks like they're taking him up the hill to that fort.
Gross. Look at all the blood.
Really? You've seen lots of blood before, Mike.
Let's follow and check this out. Others are doing the same. Maybe we can help them out.
I think Mike is right. We can go, but should stay out of it as much as possible.
Wait, the fort, the horses, the old-timiness. This has to be Fort Mackinac.
You're right. I've been here before. Picturesque, quaint, no cars, lots of fudge shops. I recognize the fort now that you mention it. I was just here last summer. What year is this? Mike, what year did you set the time machine to?
What time machine?
Oh, hell. Let's go follow the crowd. Here we are. I'm guessing the doctor's inside with the guy. Let's hang back a bit.
It seems really familiar. I'm not sure why.
Have you been here at some point? It's a popular enough vacation spot. The Grand Hotel is here. Well, I guess from up here, I don't see it. We must be here before it was built. I don't remember exactly when that was. I do know they wouldn't let me in there without a sport coat. So bougie.
I feel like I know this story. Like that guy that was shot. It seems familiar. I read about this recently. Some fur trader guy got shot, and this famous doctor saved him, and essentially just saved him to do experiments on his stomach.
I think I remember a bit of that from my trip here. There was this whole museum at the fort. I think they named some hospital after this guy somewhere near Detroit.
Was it Wayne? Wayne Manor?
No.
No, Beaumont.
Not Wayne.
Beaumont. I totally read this.
This is really weird. I wonder what trauma care was like in whatever day and age this is.
What do you mean trauma care?
Trauma care, you know, what you do when someone's shot, stabbed, run over, etc. I think that guy had an abdominal wound. Wonder where the nearest OR
I
is.
suspect it's this little building before us. Sanitation is probably a bit suspect.
Wonder if they invented anesthesia yet.
Nope, guess not.
I think I'm going to be sick.
This man is alive, but I fear he will not survive this wound to his abdomen. He says his name is St. Martin. Does anybody here know this man or his family?
That doc is definitely not wearing gloves. So much blood.
I will need some help if he is to live. Who of stout constitution shall volunteer to help this man? I fear he has been mortally wounded.
Ooh. We will.
Oh, yeah, right here. We will.
Uh-oh. I think he sees us.
You there! Come forth.
Feel a buzzing in my head all of a sudden.
Two.
Where are we now?
Old-timey medical school dissection auditorium? So cool. Look how severe the teacher dude looks, you guys. We're dressed like medical students.
I shudder at the memories.
Wait, that's Beaumont, albeit a bit older.
That guy next to him looks like the guy that was shot on the ground back on Mackinac Island.
Except now he looks pretty alive.
To those of you in this class, I wish to present my greatest patient, this once unsightly and primitive French-Canadian fur trapper from the frozen north. He is the most fortunate soul I had yet to come across in my illustrious career.
I beg your pardon? Unfortunate for both of us.
I thought him for sure dead, like really dead. This man, however, surprised even me that, despite his questionable state of health to begin with the help of my excellent medical care, he survived his wound to the stomach.
How long are you gonna hold it over my head?
You gentlemen, and probably very few ladies in this medical school class in 1825.
Clumsy exposition, really?
I give you the man with a permanent hole between his flesh and his stomach, Alexis St. Martin. Yes. Keep it coming.
Ew, that guy's a hole in his stomach. It's leaking all over the place.
Quiet, Mr. Martin. You signed a contract.
You made me sign in return for saving my life, if you could call it that. I didn't know you'd be experimenting on me for over 10 years.
You signed it, sir. A contract is a contract.
I can't even read. How is this legal?
Man, that sucks.
Medicine was a bit more liberal before there were IRBs.
What's an IRB?
Institutional Review Board. You know, Mike, the people who authorize all credible medical research in the United States.
Yeah, they're the people who police ethics and research so that you can't just experiment on people as you see fit.
I read about that St. Martin guy. He got shot on Mackinac Island, and then this doc saved his life, but then used him for experiments.
Experiments?
Yeah, I remember seeing some plaque about this on my trip. He helped figure out digestion.
As you can see, class, you wad up the meat, a protein we must remember, and place it, thusly, through the patient's now permanent abdominal wound.
Come again?
He's doing what now?
Ouch! I don't care how many times you do this, it hurts.
Just watch as I fit this through his fistula into the stomach.
Fistula?
It's a new anatomical connection between two structures, in this case between the inside of his stomach and the outside of his skin.
How is that possible?
Well, the wound forms a layer of granulation tissue, kind of like the top layer of skin over the hole, and it stays open sometimes. I'm beginning to think you really don't remember anything about being a doctor.
Ouch!
By keeping this hearty bolus of meat on this string, I place it through his skin into his stomach directly and watch it being digested away.
Is this not strange to you people?
His stomach is like the busy hands of the baker, kneading dough. In this case, the meat at the end of this string until it is all dissolved away. This I discovered. The stomach acts like a muscle, churning and breaking food until it is gone. Whatever this man eats by mouth will be swallowed and shortly appear here at his wound, spilling with digestive juices out of this new permanent wound.
Maybe it would heal if you stopped messing with it.
Silence!
Fine, give me some soup.
Gross.
As you see, it comes right out of the gunshot wound. Astounding.
Whee!
So this is how they figured out parts of digestion, huh?
So much for patient dignity. IRB be damned.
Yeah, Beaumont made that guy sign a contract to let him experiment on him for a while.
At least he was alive, though. That's something to be thankful for.
I cannot wait until your stupid book is done.
Guess they weren't besties. How long did this go on?
My book is the culmination of over 10 years of these tedious experiments. Soon my masterwork, the experiments and observations on the gastric juice and the physiology of digestion, will be published far and wide.
Gastric juice? I'd workshop that title.
They had no idea this concept would lead to the feeding tubes we use to this day. It's pretty incredible if you think about it.
And that, class, is the most remarkable thing. After this man's convalescence for just over a fortnight, once I was assured the opportunity for death was over, he entered into my service. And during this time, in the intervals of experimenting, he performed all the duties of a common servant, chopping wood, carrying burdens, etc., with little or no suffering or inconvenience from his wound.
I assure you, there was plenty of inconvenience. I hate you so much for all of this. I wish I was dead.
Yeah, the dude basically turned that guy into a science experiment and an indentured servant.
That's up.
Dude, language.
Who said that?
Ah, hell, he spotted us again.
So that head buzzy feeling's coming back again. Do you hear that? We're in a new time and place. This is pretty grim.
It is a funeral, apparently. Who are these people?
Oh man, does it stink.
It smells like week old porta potty with extra mayonnaise.
Ugh, it smells like cream of abscess soup left out in the sun.
Shh, shh, shh. The priest is about to say something.
Yeah, Mike, show some respect.
We are gathered here under the most unpleasant circumstances in the oppressive heat of the summer and in the presence of the most fetid odor imaginable to remember the life of Alexis St.
Wait, so we went forward in time again?
It is most unfortunate that we must remember this man today who dedicated his life to the betterment of medical science. By this pervasive, awful stench of rot and decay,
This service is brutal.
Yeah, so was the smell.
that this man may finally rest in peace, if not in many liquefactive pieces at this point, to be left alone for the rest of eternity.
This seems unusual.
For it would be the fear of the medical men who involved themselves in Mr. Martin's life as a result of his unusual injury that drove his loved ones to make such an unusual choice. And lo, like a fruit overripe to the point of abject horror, we allowed this man to decompose to a satisfactory degree, such that he would not be resurrected by those same doctors that so eagerly await the grave robber's delivery of more specimens.
They let him rot before burying him?
Let us come together quickly to say our farewells to Alexis St. Martin, and with haste cover his final resting place to immediately stifle his awful and most importantly highly undesirable putrefied remains.
Oh yeah, so this was a part of the story. Doctors of the time would go after prized abnormal specimens for display in museums or personal collections. Martin's family was afraid of this and let him decompose prior to the burial to avoid his corpse from being stolen.
Isn't that a bit extreme?
Hey, look, a messenger.
Letter here for the next of kin for Alexis St. Martin. Dr. Sir William Osler writes, to whom it may concern, I'd like to offer my sincere condolences in your time of need, and, if it's all the same, I would like to politely inquire as to whether the departed will still have the need for his stomach, or pending not, that I should not like to request it for the U.S. Army Medical Museum in Washington, D.C., where it may be displayed for generations to come with the dignity it so deserves.
You, sir, are literally the worst.
Oh, finally the funeral's dispersing. That was horrifically awkward.
Now, we still have a problem. We don't know what year this is, and we don't know how to get back home to our time.
Mike, do you know what is happening? You built the time machine that got us into this. Do you not remember how this works, or did you not think this through? We went back through time, but what happened to the machine? Is it still back in our present time?
Don't you mean future time from where we are now? Sorry.
Really?
Yeah, it's just still a bit hazy. We're starting to remember a bit more. The time machine is probably where I left it.
Wouldn't it have made more sense to have designed the machine to go with you through time so you could get back to whenever you needed to?
How about you build a time machine and I nitpick your design choices? Doesn't that sound like fun?
Enough.
Really fun.
Mike, we need you to figure out how to fix this. Can you make a new time machine?
It's hard to say. I'm not sure how I built the first one.
You still don't remember anything about that or being a doctor?
Nope.
Okay. Wait. Somehow we jumped forward in time during this whole episode. The buzzy feeling in the head, followed by the warp through time. Why was that happening?
Yeah, maybe there's a pattern. It seems as if we skipped forward through this Martin guy's life. Every jump had to do with important aspects of his story.
And maybe we can harness that, the whatever that causes us to jump forward to get back to our time.
Wait, like Quantum Leap?
In fairness, I never saw the show.
It does seem like Quantum Leap.
If you say so, maybe we have to restore Mike's memory or something.
What does that have to do with the St. Martin guy?
Well, I was reading about this story recently. Maybe we got teleported to one of the last places on my mind.
Mike, you have to remember that you're a doctor. It's insane that you could forget the 11 plus years of training that went into your becoming a physician.
I remember college.
What about medical school?
I don't remember that.
What about residency?
Nothing.
If I prompt you to try and remember these things, what does your brain show you?
It's just a void. It's really strange. Like nothing happened for however long in my life. It's disconcerting.
Oh, we're never making it home.
Wait, who did that messenger say the letter was from? That name sounded familiar.
Sir William Osler? Dr. Osler? He was a famous physician. I think his name was brought up thousands of times in medical school.
There's that buzzing noise again.
Here we go again.
Well, there you have it. A little bit different, you might notice. Either way, we do appreciate everyone listening, and we'd love to hear from all of you out there. If you'd like to send us a message or provide feedback, we can be reached through our website, www.poorhistorianspod.com, and there you will find links to all of our social media sites. We take emails at poorhistorianspod@gmail.com and work to respond to all posts on our various social media accounts when they do arrive. We'd love it if our fans could take some time and leave us a nice 5-star review on iTunes or whichever other platform you listen to this show. And we'd love it if you go check out our sponsor, arteryinc.com. Just follow any links in our show notes to get to their website and give them a look. They've been awesome to work with. Until next time when we have a normal episode, this is Max signing off. AMA.